Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today is going to be the sequel to my previous video, which is why this video is called Herping, the sequel. And it's been about, 6 days since my last outing to look for amphibians out here. And since then it's rained practically every day, which is really good in terms of hopefully finding stuff. And it's also been around like 50-ish degrees the whole time, which is even better, which means a lot more amphibians have probably woken up and have started moving about. So we're gonna get going. It rained a lot last night especially, so I'm gonna start by turning over some logs and looking for some salamanders as we make our way to that vernal pool that we were looking at in the last video. Let's get to it. Got ourselves a nice rotted log right here. Just gonna flip it over. Might be a dud. No salamanders, but we got a few earthworms under here. Actually, a lot of earthworms. Would you look at that? First a salamander. All right, I'm gonna stop doing that impression, but I'm gonna put this guy in the bucket if I can catch him. They're definitely moving a lot more today than they were last week. I thought I lost it in that time it took me to get my container out of my backpack, but I was able to find him again, or her. This is the same species that we were finding last week, the redback salamander. Obviously, great indicator, red stripe on their back. This one's cool, it's got some kind of spots on the side. I don't know if the camera's gonna be able to pick that up, but pretty neat. I think this one, again, is a female. It's got the rounder snout instead of the square snout that a male would have. Although, usually the females are bigger. This one's a little small, but, you know, still growing, could be a young one. I'm gonna flip the log back over, let this one loose on the side, and keep looking for more. One salamander down, hopefully many more salamanders to go. I can definitely tell, just as I'm walking around here, I can hear my feet squishing and stuff. The rain has definitely moistened things, which is exactly what the salamanders like. So hopefully we'll find a lot more. Maybe we'll even find another species if we're lucky. Who knows? As I was walking along here, came across this bone. I'm gonna guess that it's probably a deer bone, just based on the size of what we have out here. But it definitely looks as though something was gnawing on it. I don't know what, maybe a coyote or something, but it's the only bone I'm seeing out here, so it could have been dragged over here too. But not a salamander, but still a cool find. So I just heard a barred owl hooting, and it sounded pretty close. So I'm trying to move along quietly, and maybe I'll get a chance to see it. I love owls, so that would be an awesome find out here. I'll keep you updated. So I'm in the area where I think I heard the owl call come from. So I'm gonna do one of my own, barred owl. Their call sounds like "Who cooks for you?" So I'm gonna do that real quick. Wait and see if we get a response at all. So far I'm not hearing anything. All right, still nothing. Piper's looking at me though. There's a chance that it moved on, or there's also the chance that it could possibly be watching me right now from one of these trees around me. That's the cool thing about barred owls. Their feathers are so good at camouflaging. It could be staring at me and I would have absolutely no idea unless it moved or something like that. But I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled as we keep going, but I'm gonna focus back on the salamanders and frogs. So I'm by this stream right now, and it's flowing pretty strong. given that all the snow's melting and the amount of rain we gotten. So I'm just gonna poke around here a little bit, turn over some rocks maybe, see if maybe we can't find another species of salamander. Actually feel the cold coming off this water right now, because it's mostly snow melt and rain as well, but it's kind of a unique sensation. So I just turned a log over and I found these eggs. They're very like kind of pearly white, like basically looks like little pearls. I'm gonna put the camera down for a second and see if I can identify what they might be. So in my quick little research, I think I've determined these are either snail or slug eggs. When I look at photos of them, that's what these look like. So got another red-backed salamander. Seems like this is all I'm gonna find out here, but this guy's bigger than the last one we found. Definitely got the more round snout. I think it's a female again. Definitely more prominent stripe on the back too, which is cool to see the difference in the morphs. Oh, it's on the move. I'm just gonna let it go. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was the barred owl again. I don't know if I quite caught it on video. It started before I started the camera, but of course that area is right where I was. So if I had to guess, it probably was watching me as I was turning over logs down there. Maybe on the way back, I'll swing back through and see if I can't spot it the second time. All right, I'm gonna do my call again to see if I can't get it to hoot again. It just did it again, of course, after I turned the camera off. Piper heard too. There it is, that's a barred owl. Oh, there's two. Very neat. I'm gonna try to make my way back over there. All right, so I'm back where I was, where I think they were. It's gonna be quiet for a moment, see if they'll hoot again, and try to kind of pinpoint location. All right, so I haven't heard him again. I think we might have scared him off. Piper was unsure of the sound. The problems with bringing a dog out here, not quite as stealthy as I would like to be, but we're gonna have to circle back this way anyways to get home, so it's a chance they might still be around here when we head back, but for now, we're gonna keep heading up the trail. Bet you $5 as soon as I move away, I'm gonna start hearing them again. I'm gonna resist the urge to go back and check it out this time. So we're approaching the vernal pool that we found last week. As you can see, I've leashed Piper. I don't want her leaping in there, especially if we've got some amphibians that have already started breeding. I don't want her to mess that up, so for the time being, she is on the leash. So it does not appear as though this pool is in use. I'm not totally sure if it's because there's a little bit of a stream at the end or not, but this one bit's pretty still. You can tell just from all that green algae in there, but alas, I'm not hearing any frogs, I'm not seeing any frogs or salamanders. So I don't know if I would necessarily hear a salamander. So I'm gonna keep looking. Maybe I'll find another pool with a little more action. We got some blue skies over there. When we first started out, it was pretty cloudy and foggy, so this is nice. I didn't expect to get some sun today, but here we are. Look for salamanders and work on my tan. On this trail today. We didn't go down there last week, so explore some new terrain, hopefully find maybe another vernal pool and hopefully more salamanders. She must cover like at least double or triple the distance I do on these sorts of walks. The amount of running back and forth that she does. Too mucky down that way, as you can hear from Piper, for me to really want to continue going that way. So we're gonna go, the trail diverged in another spot, so I'm gonna go up the other side and see if there's anything up there. So at the bottom of this bank, I see a pool, and I'm gonna go try to check it out. I got Piper leashed up. Once again, not hearing or seeing anything in this pool. I think this one might be too shallow. If it's too shallow, they won't lay their eggs because they know by the time the eggs hatch, all the water will be dried out. So we're gonna keep looking. Getting kind of annoyed because I have this very distinct memory of coming out here with one of my childhood buddies, and we're doing the same thing, looking for frogs and stuff, and we found like 3 or 4 different vernal pools, like all filled with wood frogs, and I'm just coming up empty. But I'm gonna keep going a little further before I turn around. I don't really feel like doing more bushwhacking, so I saw a path up this embankment here a little ways back, so I'm gonna circle back to that and head up there. We've reached the little path up the cliff. I'm gonna follow it. My memory, I kind of remember the one of the vernal pools that my friend and I found being in sort of a hemlock area, and there's a lot of hemlock over there, so maybe we'll chance upon it. At the very least, I hope we find at least one more salamander so we can tie the record from last week. This path is getting steeper than I expected, but I'm gonna try to make it up anyways. A lot of pretty birds out today. I wish I remembered my bird calls. Luckily for me, I remembered that I have the Merlin Bird ID app, which allows me to just use the microphone on my phone to listen for bird sounds. That really pretty call from the last clip was a winter wren, according to the app. We tied our record from last week for salamander finds. Yet another redback salamander. It seems to be the only species I'm destined to find. We've got our friend in the container now. I think, again, this one's a female, but again, don't trust my judgment on this. I'm not an expert. I had one lab in college where we studied salamander sexing, and I don't exactly remember all the details of it. Sweet, we have now tied our count for salamander finds from last week, which I honestly thought we'd find more given how much it's rained. I also thought we found a vernal pool by now, but still exciting. And still happy we found anything at all. So this bit of forest is kind of triggering my memory. I feel like it seems familiar in the sense that maybe it was around where my buddy and I found a vernal pool once. But then again, that was over 10 years ago at this point. My memory could be 100% skewed. I don't know how you'll see them through the trees, but there is a flock of turkey vultures. There's one flying through over there. I'm beginning to question the legitimacy of my memory. I've not found anything out here that could possibly have even been a vernal pool at any point in time. So I'm gonna make my way back to the trail now. There's a porcupine den right up there, old dark spot. Interestingly enough, there's like a bird that keeps flitting in and out of it. Not sure what it's up to. I'd check out one more spot in hopes of finding a frog or two. In this area by the power lines had some reeds and stuff, but it really just kind of looks like a stream flowing through here. Not enough still deep water for any amphibians to be laying eggs in. We're about to go back into the area of woods where we heard the owls earlier, so I've got Piper leashed up in the hopes that maybe if the owls are even still in this area, we might catch a glimpse. Keep her a little quieter when she's not bounding through the forest. Even with Piper on her leash through that area, and we even stopped and sat for a moment, Didn't see or hear anything. I think they might have moved on. I might have accidentally scared them off, but I'll definitely come back to this area, maybe in dusk or sometime like that, when they're more active, and maybe chance upon them again, maybe actually see them this time. But it's cool to know they're out here, especially that there's two. My goal now is to find one more salamander before we make it back, just so I can say that I found more than the last time. Because I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed that I wasn't able to find any sort of vernal pool, no other species, and I flipped over a lot of logs I didn't show you guys and didn't find anything. But maybe I'll have to make a third part of this series where I go somewhere totally different, where I know there's like a pond or something like that, where I'm more likely to find a higher quantity of amphibians. And nothing. Please say that I've had more success this time than last time. And look at the size of this one. I'm just gonna take this piece of bark with it on it. Get a closer look. Very pretty color. More of an orange morph than a red, but still the same red-backed salamander species. Got some spots too. I would guess, just based on size, it's a female, and the snout's not very square. Found, what is this, number 5, I believe? Again, red-backed salamander. I'm gonna pick it up and, well, using a leaf to pick it up and see if I can't tell the gender. All right, so I think this one actually might be a male. It definitely looks like it has kind of a mustache like Siri, and as you can see, the head is a little more square than the other ones we found. Again, as with my last one that I tried to sex, don't take my word for it. I'm gonna let him go now. There it goes back under its log. So I think that's gonna do it for us today. Found 5 red-backed salamanders, which 2 more than last time, always cool. Didn't end up finding that vernal pool that I was hoping for, but you know, again, can't always count on that sort of thing. Although maybe it's a good signal to me that I should try scouting out my locations a little bit better before deciding to film a video, but oh well, live and learn. And actually, I just spotted something else, a different species, so I'm gonna go film that real quick. As I was filming that last clip, I spotted a little spot of orange down here in the ground and found this little red eft, which is the juvenile stage of the eastern newt. So these guys are this bright orange color as a warning to predators that they're kind of toxic and taste bad. And this species, they'll actually live on land in this kind of stage for a number of years before they return to water, where they become aquatic and become adult newts. So they're pretty common after a big rain. I kind of expected to see more today, but I'm glad I saw one, and right as I was finishing this video too. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you'll come back next week.